talking about tattoos. And believe it or not, it is not the latest craze. They have been around a long time. And I am actually really grateful that I came of age, let's say, in the tramp stamp evolution era of tattooing. And why do I say that I'm grateful that I came of age in that era? Well, it's because it was so out there in a way. It seemed so ridiculous to me that I think overall it just dissuaded me from tattooing and and more. So with that beginning, yeah, tattooing has been around for forever. I mean, I think a lot of people know that it's so popular right now that it almost seems like it's brand new and like everybody's doing it because it's so new and amazing. But I mean, basically, since humans figured it out, it's been around. But like I said, when I was coming of age, the tramp stamp was the thing. And oh, I forgot to cue this up. Here it is. I just need to cue it up one more step here. For those who aren't familiar, I'm going to show you what that is. And I don't think it's a thing so much these days, thank God. And it, you know, it was a thing of its era, thankfully. Let's see. There we go. That's the screen I wanted to. So, you can quickly get the idea, right? So, again, I am grateful in a way that was the tattoo of my era. And it was just like, that just doesn't seem like something I want to do. And I think it just dissuaded me overall. But also, I grew up with really painful skin issues, and I was overweight since I weighed over 100 pounds since I was 9 years old. And anyone who knows, the average 9-year-old weighs about 60 pounds. So I was already really aware of like how my body felt and looked and didn't want to cause any more pain to my body. And then also just like, it didn't seem like an addition that I wanted to make. So when I look back, because it wasn't really even a question in my mind at the time. So when I look back, I think, well, how would I have really reasoned that thought out if I was actually going through the decision-making process? And it's kind of like this, I think about some of my prized possessions, things that I really appreciate. And one of them is my vehicle, for example. And I don't know, there's just, you're supposed to love people, not things, but, there's some things that you love. And I really like my vehicle a lot. And, I wash it regularly. I wipe it down. I do little things to make it keep looking good. And I have considered putting a decal on it, but I don't. And it's just because I like it the way it is. There's something about just, a good looking vehicle, especially. It just looks great already and it doesn't need much improvement. And so that's one way of thinking about it. Some people might say, well, if you're equating like your body to your vehicle, well, there are certainly nicer vehicles. And that's true. I think that's a great comparison. Like, I don't know anyone who would put a bumper sticker on their brand new Mercedes. And someone might say, well, my body's not a Mercedes. But just similarly, maybe you equate your body to maybe a vehicle that has a few more miles. We all know that you've all seen that vehicle that almost looks like they're trying to hold it together with the stickers, and it's comical, right? It's not actually really improving the vehicle other than maybe providing some entertainment. And so that's one comparison. And similarly, I think what might be another prized possession, and I'm talking to women here, so women in particular, I know purses are a thing. To me, they're more practical purses, that is, but I'm very aware that they're more than an accessory that carries things for people. And I think of the purses that I have, which I tend to go towards something very classic, I currently, for example, I'm carrying a leather little backpack, and it just works great with so many outfits and the things that I want to carry. But it's plain, it's classic. But at the same time, I wouldn't write on it. Another purse that a couple purses that I have are the Toomey brand, and I don't get them for the brand, but I get them for the classic look, the quality, the structure. And similarly, I wouldn't write all over them. Even if a person was a great artist, I wouldn't have them scribble or write or doodle all over. And I'm sure similarly, I'm not a big fashion person, but there are just things that I like. I like things that are just classic and simple, and the beauty itself comes through. Like the color just comes through nicely. That it's a nice fabric that works well for me, and so I personally don't have the need for a lot of embellishment, although I do have a few things that have a lot of embroidery, which are kind of unique and special. But when we just think about maybe you are someone that's really into fashion, and maybe you like to get a new purse each season, I highly doubt that you're going to have even a good artist friend make doodles on your purse, or even write their name. Exception might be, somehow you get your hands on J Lo's purse, her previous purse, and then uh, you sell it, right? That would have some value, but that's not it's not apples to apples in that sense. You're not going to have um, Taylor Swift sign your body and then sell your body, right? And so it's similar, like, what is it that you value? Use that as an external example, and also, you know, I hope that you value your body way more than those things. And I have one more illustration as I was thinking about this, because it's not even a question for me. I don't even, I also know that I would change my mind. Like, it'd be like, oh, that was a good idea 10 years ago, or even 10 months ago, but it just doesn't appeal to me anymore. So there's just kind of just a personality thing aspect to it. But it's also, along with that personality aspect, it's like another thing that I think people really highly value would be their homes. And I think most people choose carefully how they're going to accessorize their home, right? What color you're going to paint it, if you're going to put shutters on, or maybe it needs a new roof, and even choosing the color and the texture of the roofing material. And I think it's very similar, because you can overdo it. And I think this is something where I know that the tattooing is also an art. And I think there's a point where, there's a, interestingly, a fine line. And um, so for me, it's like the house, are you going to put another plant in the yard? Are you going to add more? And it really takes, I think, a careful eye and a careful touch to take what is already in its simplicity beautiful, and enhance it perhaps with something additional. So I think part of it, a lot of it, is just even personality. Like I said, I know that I like classic styles. I appreciate uh, just, no matter the person, that with a body the way it is. And there are a few things, of course, like, of course, I'm wearing makeup today, I'm wearing some jewelry, I did my hair. There are simple enhancements, and that was kind of the house analogy, choosing the right color of trim, adding just the right amount of bushes around the house, but just enough to enhance it and not necessarily overdo and lose the natural beauty of the object that you're accessorizing. And again, this is very much my personal opinion. I've seen some amazing tattoos, like as an artwork, but I can't imagine, I can't name a tattoo that I've seen where I think it actually enhanced and improved the look of the body, no matter what the body looked like. I think there's something really to appreciate in the body itself. And I can appreciate the tattooing for the artwork that it is. And I can understand it in a way that it very much is a preference, and that a person, maybe it's a memory, it's something that helps them remind them of something. And I have my own ways of doing that as well. And something that I was really grateful that I never got into that culture, because like I said, it's existed, for eons, really, literally, is later I asked my husband, we were talking tattoos, and he has a singular tattoo that's a very fine artwork. And I asked him what he would have thought if he had met me and I was tattooed. And he said it would not have been attractive, just in general, it's not attractive to him. And that was something that I was innately grateful for, that I just, didn't start tattooing. And I mean, I know nowadays you can get most tattoos removed, but what a process to go through as well. And so, just knowing in hindsight as well that it would have been a detractor to who is now my husband. It's so interesting how your preferences match up. And one last thing on that is, what he told me is that you can tell a lot about a person by the tattoos that they choose. And I think that's innate, right? When a person tattoos their body, it is a form of self-expression. I think that is at the heart of it, especially these days. But at the same time, I like to keep some things to myself. Like, I know, I understand my archetypes. I understand that I exude my archetypes even through how I dress, but I don't like making it super obvious. I like to keep the cards closer to my chest and not reveal so much to people, because they'll have their own interpretations of it. And I realize there's whole conversations that can come out of discussing tattoos. But that's my own personal makeup. I know that I like to keep those cards close to my chest and have someone get to know me. Maybe they pick up on that, my archetypes, my preferences through my clothing and how I carry myself and how I speak. And then we can really get to know each other. I personally don't like to wear my archetypes in particular. Maybe we'll talk about that sometime, really blatantly on the surface. And again, I know that that's something very particular to me. So I'm curious, how about you? This is definitely an era where, tattooing is not only common, but it's popular. And I'm curious first of all, are you a big fan of tattoos? Do you regret getting any tattoos? And guys especially, do you see a woman who has tattoos as, quote, wifey material? And I'm wondering if my husband's the only one. I know there's cultures within cultures that have preferences for tattoos as well. So I'd like to actually hear from you, because I think that's where we actually, to hear it from people is where we, instead of just like assuming, right, and hearing through the grapevine. So I'd like to hear what you have to say about that. And if you know any tattooing history, I know a lot of it comes from even the sailors in the Navy back in the day, the World War I, World War II era, maybe even before that. Yeah, it's very interesting. So yeah, let's end it there. Oh, I forgot to mention, please like, subscribe, share. If you thought of someone while you were listening to this, please send it their way. And guys, if you find this especially interesting and helpful as far as what you think would be good wifey material education for women, particularly if you wish more women knew this information, that's how I wanted to phrase it, please also give it a like and subscribe and share. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Take care.